you. What's up, everybody? It's the Hard Deconstruction. You can find us at harddeconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/harddeconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehardyconstruction with your host, Alex.
Flummoxed.
And
Thea.
from hardharbor.tumblr.com.
I made use of the word.
Sorry for stepping over your hello, Thea.
Good.
So today's film is...
Sharknado.
Sharknado is a 2013 horror film, original horror film from Sci-Fi Channel. It's about when a freak hurricane swamps Los Angeles, nature's deadliest killer rules... What? Nature's deadliest...
I would say that this is, of the year 2013 at least, the worst movie ever made.
Nature's deadliest killer rules sea, land, and air as thousands of shark terror... Who the fuck, man? Listen to this. When a freak hurricane swamps Los Angeles, nature's deadliest killer rules sea, land, and air. Okay, as thousands of sharks terrorize the waterlogged populace. That was my reading incomprehension right
This
there.
is my main problem with the movie. Well, no, I have a few...
Just you only
Just
one?
going right to
I have a
it.
few problems with the movie,
Okay.
but one of the main ones is, why are they only having sharks? Why are there no other types of fish?
I was wondering.
It's
about
like
that
this
too.
wind only targets sharks?
Yeah, there was no octopus or octopi.
You would
excuse me,
think
if that's
it would be more likely to grab a lightweight fish than a heavy shark. That's physics.
I will say that I was impressed that the opening shot is just a hurricane going through the sea, sucking up sharks. Like, I mean, they just started off. They didn't give a fuck. They're like, "See, look," and then it goes into Sharknado.
And then they had that whole thing with, like, I was expecting that to go somewhere with that, like, Russian guy and the Asian dude.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Was he Russian? I thought he was like Spanish.
I think he was a Spanish guy.
Whatever he was. The point is, they made it seem like it was going to be some kind of, like, crime thriller and, like, no, they never.
I kind of wish that captain had stuck around, because I was like, he's probably the most interesting character of the whole thing.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Suave Hispanic man, a Latino man in the seas, killing young Asian men.
I think he was Russian, though.
Definitely not.
He was definitely Spanish.
And they also say that Tara Reid starts.
His name was Captain Santiago.
Yeah,
okay.
that is Russision. You're right.
That sounds very Russian to me.
So anyway, it's directed by Anthony C. Ferrante. It's written by a guy named Thunder Levin. Oofa. It stars Ian Ziering, Tara Reid, John Hurd.
But it doesn't star Tara Reid, and it doesn't star John Hurd. They're extras.
Tara Reid is the biggest.
That main guy.
Unfortunately, Tara Reid is the biggest name in the film. So.
Yeah, so they're people you may have heard of rather than everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, the way.
And did you notice that the bar owner, the main guy, his name is Finn?
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't get that.
Really?
Anyway, so the film is about obviously a tornado that. It's actually more what like is.
It's a hurricane.
Is this supposed to be a dramatized version of Hurricane Sandy that happened around?
Right.
Yeah.
It's more that a huge hurricane for the first time really destroys the coastal area of California, bringing with it a tornado full of sharks. How long do you think the tornado was? Like a couple hours old, so it still had a couple of sharks flying around in it. How many sharks are off California's coast? Well, I guess Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that they depleted all the sharks. You know what would be cool if they showed like Japanese people running around chopping their fins off?
Just making sushi and eating it right there. But yeah, so let's set it up. The opening really has no other reason to show anything besides, I guess they must have rented a suit and the captain's outfit for somebody, and they said, "Fuck it, let's put it in the movie." I seriously think that sequence was from another movie that they never finished, because it starts out with a captain. What was his name? Santiago.
Yeah.
Kind of like this unscrupulous guy who's I guess netting up shark meat for this Japanese businessman. Why he has to bring the Japanese businessman out there with him to
why he has
shark?
A gun? It's a.
I could understand if you're a shady guy who's doing illegal
but
fishing.
they're making it like it's
he's
like
catching
a
sharks.
Yeah, but I guess
it's like some kind of drug deal. It's just a fucking shark boat.
Is it illegal to catch sharks?
I think it's illegal to catch that many sharks.
Oh, okay, because they had a lot of sharks. I wonder if those were.
Well, I think in America it's illegal, maybe, but like Japan does it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why all those whale guys come after them and all that shit?
Yeah, they do lots of things like that.
Here's the thing with this film: it became like an instant cult hit because of the ludicrousness of the.
Because of the name, because you hear Sharknado and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
So it's like, like Sharktopus and
it's from Asylum, who is known to make really stupid movies like this that rip off other movies. Although this one didn't really rip off another movie.
No, it kind of was original. So I guess maybe they might start trying to do more original stuff. Although there's Sharktopus, I don't know if they did Sharktopus or any of that other stuff. They usually do, like, if Pacific Rim came out, they'll beat it 6 months ahead and do Atlantic Rim. So that just came out. And they had, before The Hobbit came out, they had something called In the Land of Hobbits, but they had to change the name because they were going to get sued. Although Hobbit is an actual phrase from somewhere else. It's not,
really?
Yeah, it really
is. I thought that was a Tolkien created word.
No, hobbits were actually used to. They were used as a name for these a race of people that were really small.
Oh, okay.
I actually had to read that shit somewhere. I was like, really? I was like, all right, whatever. But anyway, it became like a kind of a cultural phenomenon for a week or so. And it kind of bolstered everybody's Twitter.
Even Howard Stern was talking about it.
Right, and also the guy from Glee who passed away, so maybe that was his last post on his Twitter account was about Sharknado.
Oh, God, that's a horrible way to die. You see Sharknado and then you die?
So...
famous last words.
Poor guy.
It kind of, what was weird about it is, like, coming into... I've never seen any... have you guys seen any Asylum films before? I've never seen them.
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just know what they do, which is to make fake versions of real movies, kind of.
Yeah.
Crappy fake versions.
The weird part is when I went to watch this, I thought it was going to have tongue-in-cheek, like, really bad on purpose. But the movie takes itself really seriously. Like, it really does.
I kind of like that it does, though. You know, like, I mean, I said it was the worst movie of 2013, but in a weird way, I kind of enjoyed parts of it a little bit. I don't know.
The funny part about the first guy, Santiago, when he gets killed by the shark, it's almost like they did a fatality from Mortal Kombat, because the sharks were jumping left and right, sawing off pieces. Yeah, they were like sawing off pieces of his face like a final move. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And then they shoot the shark in the face, and its head explodes like a flower or something. It was the worst special effect I've ever seen.
Okay, well, the entire movie is the worst special effects you will ever see.
There's only one prop shark in the film. I think there's only one non-CG shark, right? I think at the end.
I think when they're in the water specifically, they look like they might be real, actually. Like, they might have gotten real footage of some sharks.
That's my other thing.
Sharks in a tornado?
That's my thing about...
Well, not the tornado part. But, like, when they're just swimming around, like, you could kind of see that maybe they look good, or they're...
It's just because their entire body is obscured except for the fins. So you're like, yeah, that could be real. Maybe.
That can't be phony at all. They probably just, like, recorded it right off the fucking Discovery Channel and just planted it in the movie. This movie is made up of snippets of, I think... The Asylum, they just hire guys out to go around California and film stuff, and then cobble together a movie. Like, when they have an idea, they're like, "Fuck, do we have any footage of people surfing?" They're like, "Yeah, okay, let's put that shit in this movie." You know, they're just like cobbling.
Yeah.
There's a whole.
I thought that at one point when it showed cops. It showed like a scene with a bunch of cops sectioning off an area, and I was thinking that it almost seems like they went to a crime scene and just filmed it.
So. But I would think you need the rights. You definitely need people to sign off on their image being used for a movie. So I don't know how that works with that. But those cops definitely look like they had nothing to do with this movie. But anyway, so the movie starts.
Was it the CGI Hummer that gave that part away?
We'll get to that part.
Also, there is no okay. Oh, there's so many things.
So the film starts out with Ian Ziering and his buddy. What was his name? Boz, I think the Australian guy. I think he's Australian, right? He looks familiar, but I don't know where he's from.
He says a bunch of really stereotypical Australian things.
He says bloody a lot, so it could be English. I don't know.
No, he's definitely Australian.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because he's like, I want y'all...
He says a bunch of stupid shit about, I don't know. They make a bunch of down under jokes and stuff.
Oh, I get. Is that a euphemism for vaginas and stuff?
Something like that.
Australians. But anyway, yeah, it's him... who's Finn and his buddy
and George
Boz
is drunk,
which I think is Boz Luhrmann from.
This is what happened after.
Sorry, his name is Boz Hogan.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
There you
go. Macaulay Culkin's dad from Home Alone. He was so upset that his son went off to do lots of drugs that he became an alcoholic.
He was probably more sad that Mila Kunis left his son. Can you imagine Mila Kunis was banging Macaulay Culkin for a while? Wow.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That's-
Macaulay Culkin's awesome, actually.
Okay, good.
Is he?
Kind of is, yeah. If you see
Alright.
the movie Saved, at least, I thought he was amazing in that.
Did you guys think the special effects of Ian Ziering surfing at the beginning were pretty great, or was that
There's so many worse things to overshadow it.
But I mean,
that
to start out
doesn't
with,
even matter.
it's
This
one of
is
those.
one thing that I noticed. Why, if a shark is flying around in the air for like 20 minutes, it would suffocate.
Yeah.
It's still in the water, though, isn't it?
No, it's in
Yeah, but
air.
it needs to go under at some point, doesn't it? Like.
Yeah, it's not a whale or a dolphin. It needs air. It's a fucking fish.
So
It needs water, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Finn owns this bar. What was the name of the bar? Does anybody know? Is it called?
I don't know.
Finn's Extreme.
It doesn't matter.
So Finn owns this bar. He's there with his buddy. What was his name? Baz. I keep trying to say Choco for some reason.
Baz and George.
Yes,
Baz
I call him
and
the
Nova.
Australian guy.
Don't
And
forget
his hot
Nova.
bartender.
Nova is played by Cassie Serbo. She's pretty hot. And there's
Yeah,
also
I liked her. I thought she was actually a good actress, and I felt bad for her being in this movie.
She wasn't that good. You were just distracted by the tits.
No.
The first
she was
shot of-
decent. She was decent.
the first shot of Nova was just her ass in her bikini, kind of walking around. So you understand why they put her in the film in the first place. Although she's not horrible, but she's kind of what would you call it? She's the one that wants to kick all the sharks' asses because she had
She
a bad.
hates sharks because they ate her grandpa.
She has a vendetta against sharks.
They made Nova the Quint character out of Jaws. Basically, she has the. They even have the. They script the same storyline too because Quint, who's the old fucked up guy from Jaws, he was in he was in a ship that got capsized or it was sinking, and he was left with a whole bunch of army guys, and the sharks kept eating every guy around him, and he was the only one that survived. And Nova's story obviously is the same thing in this one, and they didn't even bother just like winking.
This movie undid all of the years and years and years of trying to get back Shark's reputation that Jaws ruined.
Do you think like Spielberg was watching this and he kind of nodded and wished he had done some of the stuff that was in this movie?
He's like, oh, that's a great idea. Fuck.
He's like, God, I wish I had more sharks flopping around on dry land.
I wish I had more sharks that when they exploded, it looked like the most fake shit I can imagine.
Let's talk about the opening attack of all the sharks attacking people. That first massive wave of sharks. I assume the hurricane pushed the sharks towards the beachfront because they start biting
And again,
arms.
no other fish, only sharks. The water and the wind somehow only wanted sharks.
Maybe the sharks ate all the fish that were inside the tornado already.
They ate all the fish. All of them.
Okay, that's a possibility. All right.
But yeah, so Finn and Baz decide that they need to escape this their bar because this huge massive hurricane is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the parts is a fucking shark flies through the window of the bar and bites like some guy, or it's trying to bite this woman, and Nova comes out and fills it with a fucking shotgun blast, and it's really horrible. It's really
wait,
some of the most-
Doesn't she
something to
stab
say
it with a pool
before.
stick?
I had an
With a pool
observation
stick, right,
I
a
could
pool
say
stick, I'm
before,
sorry.
and I can't remember it now, but it was like pretty ridiculous. Oh, what was it?
What were you talking about? What happens?
You cut me off. I was about to say something like ridiculous that I noticed about the movie, and
Oh, something ridiculous in this movie? No.
You don't say.
But definitely Nova.
One thing I noticed was there's a point where a metal girder falls on that.
Oh,
teeth.
right, and the blood flies the wrong way, you said?
The blood. Well, first it shows the blood on the opposite side of where it fell on him, so there's no way the blood could get there. And then the next shot, the blood isn't there anymore.
I was impressed that they had a giant Ferris wheel that got smashed by the hurricane, and it's
Right.
rolling around the city, and people are just like. It reminded me of Prometheus when Charlize Theron's running in a straight line, and there's people just running in a straight line while a carousel's going to fall. If they went behind a building, maybe a carousel would kind of like teeter and not fall on them, but they just didn't give a shit.
Right.
They
I know
just
what you're saying.
They try to add like one.
I remembered my observation. I remembered it.
Go ahead.
Why are they running from the cops in that scene? The cops aren't villains. The sharks are the villains. They're like running from the cops.
I almost forgot why they're running from the cops. He's speeding up because of some.
Didn't they do something? I can't remember.
No, they didn't do anything. They just are trying to survive. And then they're like, oh, let's like have a cop chase scene or something for no reason.
Because they had footage of police officers, and that's why that footage was for something else. Because they actually, Baz ends up renting a stunt car, right? Is Baz like a stunt guy or something in the movie? I forget.